Good evening and welcome to Hangout in the Crib. We are your Battle Pirates Crib crew. I'm the BP Professor, and tonight we have Hefe
Howdy, folks.
and Daniel.
Hello.
And so we're going to talk about the new FM and state of the game and TLCs. I think that covers it.
Pretty much, yeah. Sounds good. So
All right.
so what beer are you drinking? Haven't got to that
Still
part
got the Yanglings starting to run low.
Wow.
on these.
It's been like a month on that case.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I need to drink more, but
Probably, considering once you look at the slides, you'll start to.
Yeah. We'll talk about why I should be drinking more. Sure. All right. So I shared my screen, and we can get rolling.
Okay. Jump present.
Oh yeah, Muddle missiles. We should talk about those tonight too, shouldn't we?
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, they are fun when you own them.
Yeah.
So bug fixes. They had things they had to fix with the Muddle missiles, yet they don't seem to have fixed the basic issue, which is that they pretty much break most bases.
Yeah, I mean, a strategy to try and keep them out is a little tricky, especially when people are just using your guard fleet as an aiming point to splash out everything else.
Yeah. Do we have more slides where we're going to talk about those, or should we just
the Muddle missile? I could put one in because I have one. I could look and potentially rearrange it, or we could talk about it now.
Let's just keep talking about it. I mean,
okay,
right? So, I mean, the short answer is most bases are breaking. I mean, the one, I hit a base with mine, and he had a couple guard ships that were set up that really didn't take much damage from him. So I just spread my ships out and ran on by and blew up the whole base and took a little bit of damage on my gluttonies, and that was it. I mean, you've got to be really, really dialed in to have ships that don't immediately melt, detect the gluttonies, and then do damage when they're detected.
Well, except for, I mean, there's nothing that can detect them at that range. If they're firing at your ships. So yeah.
So you have to have one of these ships, and it's pretty much a Harlock's Alpha next to an Alpha, right?
Well, I mean, these have a range of 95, right? And
my point is the range doesn't matter. It's they've got to survive. They've got to have enough.
Personally, I'm not having the issue of the ships surviving. My issue is that they're using the ships to aim at to splash out the other stuff because my ships aren't dying. The issue is they can continue to use that as an aiming point to splash out everything else because of the huge splash and spread that it has. That's the problem I'm having personally.
Okay.
I put up some walls and hopefully that'll at least slow that down.
What do you think, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm having the same issue with the splash. They target my Harlock Alpha and they splash out my whole middle island. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking when they put these out. I mean, this is just like, did they try this? Did they realize that it's going to break, 90+% of bases and even 90+% of what used to be good bases?
Yeah, the 90 sounds like a small number. I think the second number, I more agree with.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
but to be fair, it's more of a specific build that splashes out the middle island.
Okay.
So it's not everybody has it. So a lot of the other gluttonies that have been attacking my base have been failing.
Okay. Well, all right. So, do you want to talk about gluttonies anymore, or should we just keep going through the bug fixes?
I think we'll talk about them a little bit more once we get to the alpha defense
Yeah. Okay.
policy,
All right.
and maybe we can bring up some more facts on them at that point.
Okay. So let's see. This next bug fix has been a bug that people have been complaining about since alliances were introduced, however many years ago that was, and that is that you could not find an alliance via their tag, which was the whole point of the search function that they introduced with alliances.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like it would be a difficult one to fix.
No, it doesn't. And the fix is kind of funny, right? Users should now be able to. We should have been able to years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. That I don't.
It's not really a guarantee of a fix.
Yeah, I mean, if they were, maybe they just weren't quite as certain once it. Because I'm wondering if their test environment is like different than the live environment.
Oh my God.
Because otherwise, it would then users are now able to, replace should with are. If they had a little bit more confidence in it. But we've seen a lot of these things fixed in the past, according to the release notes, and they weren't actually fixed.
Yeah,
So
I saw
they were
this.
just, yeah.
I didn't try it, but whatever.
I tried it. It works.
Oh, okay.
It does work. At least the ones I searched on, where I was searching on the ones where the acronym for the name is completely different than the name, and I was getting the ones that wouldn't pop up before were now popping up. So
Okay. Good. And then users with bubbles will not be displayed in the target locator, which I thought they weren't before. Is this just kind of randomly happening?
Actually, that's pretty good.
well, I mean, unless they fixed something that made them start to appear,
Yeah.
some of this stuff is a little fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would use the out of sector targets, and I would always get bubbled bases.
Oh, okay. So you're getting this all the time.
Yeah.
All right. So have you noticed it? Is it fixed yet, or have you tried it?
I haven't tried it yet since the update.
Okay. All right. Forsaken mission change. This week, the big change for a lot of players is 109s are gone. No transition period, and welcome to the new 113. So, and then you can see we're going to get one more week where we lose the 102 and you get a new 103. And then after the raid, then there'll be some transition on the lower end targets. So, Hefe was kind enough to put up a picture of the new 113. In case you haven't tried it, which you end up with, you enter around here.
Yeah, it's a fixed entry point. It's not like the previous ones where you could choose your entry point.
Right. So you start here. I did one of these so far. So this stuff's shrouded. So I went around this way and then came in the gate here, which is shrouded. What you do notice is that as you start going this way, there's an arc missile around here that will fire at you. And then you have various turret clusters. You got one here, you got one here, you got one here. You do have ships that come in. You can kind of see the radar out here. So there's ships coming here.
Yeah, every building that sort of has like the shiny dome does something. There's like one at 12. Yeah, you're pointing at them. The ones on the outside release ships, and the one in the middle, at least that's the way it appeared to me. The one in the middle drops the shroud on the center island.
Yeah, okay. So when you do clear the outside, then you have to sorry, I had a little beer spill, got kind of excited.
Okay.
All right. So then when you go inside, you got to run past these shrouded rocket turrets,
Mhm.
which seems to be the new mechanic Kicksai's in love with.
And what were you using when you did this?
So I had my monolith fleet,
Okay.
and so I died there, and well, I lost my rear line ships there
Mhm.
because so, and it's my own
I think,
fault, I'm going to say. But so what happened is my gridiron has thrusters on it, and my others don't. So I wanted. So as I go around here like this, right? The gridiron starts pulling away. So I stopped here, lined them all up, and then started going. And it's like, oh, you didn't accelerate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, boom. That wasn't too pretty. And kind of my own dumb fault, but it highlights a problem that they were doing this in the raid, right? That a lot of these targets are binary. You screw up and you die, or you beat them and you don't get much damage. And I think with my gridiron fleet, most of this without too much damage. I probably could have done 3 of these targets without repairing, no problem, if I hadn't screwed this up. But having an FM where you got to do 7 of these every week, have that screw up and die mechanic, I think is just wrong for the FM.
Yeah, I agree. Because even if you didn't screw up the way you did, which is that one's actually pretty humorous.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. If you once you make that turn, you want to, even if you have the gridiron monoliths at full accelerate, you need to hug that outer wall.
Yeah.
If you go down the middle of that channel, they're going to catch you and you're going to be dead before you can blink your eyes.
Yep.
And so that's the other thing to be aware of. That is don't aim for, don't get to the gate and aim for some point at the back of the base, so to speak. You need to hug that outer wall to increase the distance from the turrets to take advantage of the relatively slow projectile speed in order to get past. So
yeah, and one of the things I've been doing with my gridiron fleet more and more is using shift click to set paths.
Mhm.
And it really helps kind of the formation driving, when I want to have a lead in trails, because they'll all turn at the same point. So like the gridiron gets to a point and turn, and then everybody goes straight and then gets to that point and turns. And you could probably do that for this target too, as long as your ships are matched. I clearly need to refit and get those thrusters off my gridiron. But,
and you have plenty of tokens to do it if you've done the.
well, we can talk about that later too.
Yeah. I was just teasing it. I was just teasing what's coming up.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
So yeah, Daniel, what did you think of this FM?
I haven't tried it yet, but I've seen this target looks exactly the same as the one in the current TLC.
Well, so it's not quite, and I mean, we can talk about it. So it's pretty close, but the big difference in the TLC is that these turrets here that are in a line in the TLC are on this curve.
Yes.
Which similarly, you still got to hug the outside to make it. I again died horribly in the TLC at that point, and it was. I'm not sure whether I didn't hug the outside enough or whether I had the similar problem with my gridiron out racing and blah blah blah. So, yeah, it's something I got to fix. But
is there any way with the monolith fleet? Is there any way to park your regular monoliths on the other side, so it could target the dome building, and then have your gridiron go around and run the gauntlet by itself?
I didn't try it, but I did think about it. But I think this range is too far for the circle.
I was thinking. Well, maybe he was thinking on the inside. Are you talking about the inside? Like once everybody goes through the gate, you can park on one side?
Because that won't work.
Oh, maybe park them here.
Yeah, but then the mortar that's on that other
Oh,
that
this
patch right
mortar will
there.
get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting thought. I've got a couple gales on my back line, but I don't think enough. Anyway, it's I just got to refit and get rid of that thruster.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I mean, we've sort of seen this target before, but it was a blitz target or a TLC target. Previously, we've had these overlap periods, um, which we didn't really get this time, which I think would have helped a lot of people
I
transition from the 109 to the 113, combined with the TLC, and I haven't really looked at the forums too much today to see how much you know input they're getting from the community regarding this target. But
yeah. I mean, again, I think a totally tricked out Gridiron's monolith fleet can do this FM if you do it right. If you don't screw up your driving, can do this FM at reasonable damage. Like I said, I think you could do a full run without any repairs, which is what I could do with the previous FM with Punisher Citadels.
mhm.
But I don't like the screw up and die nature of this, because you're doing it too often, too many times, to not have a phone call or lag or something come up that just, and then when you lose a full monolith fleet,
Yeah, it's 11 to 12 hours.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not happy with that part of it either. It's just overly punitive. I mean, at least we know nobody's going to be autoing these. At least, I don't know. Maybe with icebreakers, I have no idea if they're going to be able to auto these. I just sort of doubt it with those 5 rocket turrets.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, I did. Just before the show, since I was, I zombied my backline monoliths, and then was able to finish off the one I had started, and then I just hit a bunch of 102s with icebreakers. So,
Okay.
And that actually went really quick. I only have 2 icebreakers, but I was able to do that full round of the FM, hitting just a bunch of 102s. So if you're stuck, you can do that this week. You won't be able to do it next.
Yeah, and the other thing that I don't like about this target is I expect that in 2 days you're going to see a lot of these that are gutted, because again, they didn't distribute the points well. Without knowing, how much do you guess the? No, never mind. I won't make you guess.
Well, so
if you do the outside rim,
so that was 90 million, and the inside rim was 27.
Yeah.
Because I died.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, I think you'll see a lot with the 90 million removed.
But see that is, if you can make that little gauntlet there, you don't take much damage for that last 27 million.
Okay. But I'm wondering, can you do the outside with older fleets? Your Punisher Citadels and whatnot, or even a Zealous with some Citadels, something like that, where you don't have the, what's supposed to be the top end. Could that portion be done with those sorts of ships? Because speed's not as important here on the outside.
I would worry. I mean, maybe, but I would worry about 2 things. The first is that arc missile from here killing your citadels at the start. Maybe you could turn them and hug this bottom edge just to get them away from that. I don't know.
Yeah, we have 2 people in chat says you can do the outside with citadels.
Okay, all right.
So,
the other part I'd worry about are the ships that come in. You got to keep an eye on your tank and make sure they go after your tank and not the citadels. But Yeah. Okay. So if you can keep it away from that arc missile, and if you can deal with the ships that come in, yeah, you probably could. And then yeah, got the outside for 90. But uh, a player that has monoliths probably wouldn't mind cranking through the insides for 27 million for very little damage.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just expecting to see. Like I said, all I'm saying is I expect to see in a few days a lot of these that have been with the 90 million removed.
Okay.
Because hitting a target for 27 million. Well, how much is the 102 worth at this point?
27 million.
Okay.
Well, as long as they,
That's a
as
weird
long
coincidence.
as the yeah, as long as the target despawn, that I would think it'll be okay.
Well, the previous FM targets did not,
Yeah.
despite everybody asking, "Hey, you should despawn these targets."
hmm
All right. Anything else you want to talk about this FM?
How many
Okay.
points total is it actually?
So it's the same as a 109, the 117 million or 107 million.
Okay.
Which is it? 117? That's not right, because then 3 of those would actually finish the FM. I thought it was 107 million
109
total.
million. Yeah. 109 million, 110 million.
109 million. That sounds right. Yeah. All right. So then I must have that point split wrong, because 90 million and 27 million adds up to 117. All right. Well, you get the picture. It's around there.
Yep.
All right. And then we got a state of the game communication from Kixeye. Huzzah.
Yeah. Yay. Isn't it? It was quarterly. Now is it every twice a year?
It's whenever the fuck they feel like it.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Okay. Season transition and new PvE halls. So they're telling us the bit we already knew, which is Garrison after this raid is going to move to Assault.
Mhm.
They are also saying Apollos will be able to do B sets, and so I certainly wouldn't expect him to do any better than that. And then they give us some tidbits on the upcoming Assault hulls. So you've got the Phoenix, which is supposedly the skill hull. So again, this the same line as the Monolith and the Cannoneer and the Hellwraith. That's it. So you got the Phoenix, which is a missile hull, built-in point defense. Those are countermeasures for those who
But
can't follow when Kixeye changes the names of things.
it says built-in point defense system that shreds close-range threats.
Oh, so that might not even be countermeasures.
Yeah, I don't know what it means. Yeah, I mean, is it shredding the actual threat, or is it threading? I mean, I guess the threat isn't the turret; it's the projectile. I don't know. It's yeah. I don't know what it means.
That's really interesting. I assumed it was countermeasures, but I guess that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, it could be what everybody loves, a brand new game mechanic.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure that's what the forum is filled with is like, oh, please give us a brand new game mechanic because they all work well when you release them.
Well, and then I don't understand this next bit that you read it out there. For players who enjoy driving, the Phoenix specializes in mitigating Reaver target threats so they can race into missile range and take care of business.
Yeah, that one sounds like countermeasures.
I don't know.
Like they have a long range that can easily be countered, and then I don't
know. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it just means they'll be good against the Reavers. I don't know. Daniel, any thoughts, guesses?
I don't know. I got confused with point defense system.
Yeah, okay.
I thought that would be like a duality countermeasure, but
It could be.
Yeah.
Again, kick size love changing names of things arbitrarily. So, yeah.
Yeah, that could be the case.
All right, and then the auto hull, and again the predecessors of the icebreaker and the ironclad. They claim that these are going to be better. A lot of feedback, and they didn't say a lot of negative feedback, but I think it's been mostly negative on those two hulls, the icebreaker and the ironclad. Escalate the benefits of investing in this hull further than before. So, again, the thing I really objected to about those previous two hulls is that they were premium priced and not premium performance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's okay to have a non-premium hull, but don't price them at 160 million points, and don't make them 4.5 day bare hull builds like the skill hull. But so their answer to this problem is not to reduce the pricing or the build time on the lower hull line. They say they want to make these hulls better. Yeah. So they bring back carriers.
Yay! And they did such a good job with the last time they brought UAVs in.
Yeah. So we have a new Skyfire carrier, banded Hornets, so a new UAV. Hornets, were kind of we'll say a previous generation of UAV that really doesn't have the DPS of the later generation UAVs or later generation weapons. But I do expect them to do penetrating damage like missiles, right? So it's the Reaver targets will probably be vulnerable only to missile damage or penetrative damage.
Yeah, that would be the assumption. But the last time this current raid cycle, I don't see we haven't seen the data mining in it, but as far as the effectiveness of different kinds of damage types, it appears to be much wider than it was previously. Like they've dropped the 95% resistances to all the damage types that we'd seen previously.
Okay.
Because, you can do, people are doing the current raid cycle with Cannoneers and Apollos and all sorts of stuff, which would be impossible, I would think.
Oh, if they had 95% resistance, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question. Maybe we'll see if that is possible or not. Okay. So yeah, I never really got into carrier gameplay, right? I never built draconian carriers. And Harlock's Atlas I built kind of late after they were, kind of passe. They were really good base hitters for a while, but I never really had that going.
Yeah, the most recent one was the Cesium Scarab.
Well, yeah, but that was just on defense.
Yeah. I mean, it's not restricted to a hull type, but yeah, it's just, yeah.
And then, they also tried to bring back carriers as prizes, right? They had the Lightning carrier, which never took off. They had the Valkyrie from those when they were doing the tournaments,
the arenas.
Yeah.
The Forsaken Arena. Yeah, I mean, the Valkyrie was decent as a base guard, eons ago.
Yeah, I guess.
It also had sonar built in, and it also would have a random overdrive that would surface subs.
Yep.
So it's I built one and had it in my base for a while. So, but yeah, I'm just more upset about the Cesium Scarab that they never seem to to fix. I mean, they still
Sorry, you
have to
dropped out. They still what?
they still don't reflect the fact that they have 100 deflection for each damage type when you install them on a ship. It's still not reflected, and this was at the beginning of last raid cycle, right?
Yeah, so was that
this is
2.5
5 months?
Oh, geez, yeah.
So yeah, it's like 5.5 months ago, and that problem still hasn't been fixed, even though I brought it up a couple of times. So, oh well.
All right, so I mean, overall, you know, they say it's a premium experience, and it's interesting that they use that word premium, right? Because that's the word I've been using.
So you're talking like champagne room, right?
Sure, but my point is, I've used that exact word in town hall feedback to Kickside. You're charging a premium price for a non-premium hall. So I don't know if that stuck with them, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be interesting, right, to see two hulls that do equally well.
It is, but it's confused. I don't know if I like that, because it's like, you know, like what happened this current raid cycle where, you know, the icebreakers don't work. The Empyrean Zelos combination still appears to be the best combo. I don't know if it is with the FM targets. It's at least a lot more fun to drive than what's supposed to be the top end hull, which is the gridiron with the monolith, which is still just, it's, you know, I hate the accelerate feature. It's useless, and they just need to add on base combat speed and stop screwing around with this, because they go out of sync with each other. Even if you push the button at the same time, all of a sudden I got some regular monolith flying ahead of my gridiron, and that part's not my fault, I don't think.
Well, yeah, and you know, like I was saying before, using that shift click to kind of path and keep them moving has been helping me. But yeah, it's tough, and
well, it only happens some of the time, but the issue is if you don't catch it like right when it happens, what happens is you know, like my gridiron has a range of 98. My monoliths only have a range of 90. So if one of those bad boys in the back decides to get their accelerate faster than the gridiron, now we're closing into rocket range, and everybody's going to die.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, one of my issues with it, that it's, you know, because all of a sudden this guy's got 150% combat speed boost, while everybody else is behind the curve somehow. Even though I start them all like spaced at the beginning correctly, you know, 15 to 20% of the time I'll get one that starts to pop out ahead. So I don't know.
All right,
let's move on. There's a lot of state of the game.
Oops. Oh wait, sorry, sloppy click. Forsaken mission transition. So each quarter we transition into new targets. This quarter we're updating the garrison.
I think we sort of covered this.
Wait, based on Based on a great deal of feedback from players, we've pulled back from simply ripping out all the targets and replacing them. Instead, we have rolled out a more gradual replacement over several weeks. Wrong. Wrong.
Well, yeah, they haven't pulled them all out. I mean, this is like, it acts like, because everybody got up in arms with this Forsaken Mission transition post that they posted. And you think that's what they're talking about, but it does not appear to be what they're talking about at all, because they're doing what they said they were going to do in that original post, which people don't appear to be too happy about as well.
Well, I think they've done two things wrong with this transition in particular. One is they're doing it too early, and two is there's no transition.
Yeah, there's no transition on same class targets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's transition if you want to hit a different class of targets or different tier or whatever they want to call them. But yeah, if you used to hit the 109 all the time, yeah, there's no trans and you know there's no transition period to see what the 113 looks like, and then continue to hit the 109 while you build for the 113.
Right. 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 I've got, like I know one guy in my alliance, he just built his Harlock Citadel and he's doing he did the FM twice last week and maybe the week before. Now he's screwed. No.
And the best part is, I still have 6 days till my Citadel makes it Dar 5.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, yeah. Which is whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Have we harped on this enough that they shouldn't be doing this way? For this reason, we've scrutinized the data from players and watching closely to ensure everyone from the highest level token hunters to the up and coming tier climbers have good targets to fight and the tech they need to succeed.
So here's the thing is they really could fix this if the new 103 is a fast blitz target. Okay?
Mhm.
Like this week, right? Like I said before, I got my ass kicked in the 113 because I screwed up my driving. So I did the entire remaining 250 million points with 2 icebreakers in a half hour. Just
Wow.
blasting through 102s. And ended up with I ended up with a fair amount of repair, but they still had about half health, maybe a little less than half health.
Okay. So you
And they
still
don't
have
need
about 6 hours. So you got 6 hours on that and 12 hours on your monoliths.
Yeah, something like that. But my point is that, and they don't even have charged armor, by the way. The
Okay.
icebreakers don't. So I, if like I said, if they make the 103 a quick blitz target and have that be another viable way to do the Forsaken mission, then I'm actually maybe even a little more okay with the 113 having its, drive right or be dead mechanic.
Yeah, so basically the 113 is the monolith target, and then there's an icebreaker target. We haven't heard from those smug people that built Empyrean and Zeloses yet on how they're doing in the 113, because they're very smug.
I mean, in hindsight, well, I guess we'll see with this 113, but in hindsight, for the raid, I wish I had done that for the raid.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just assuming that they're tuning them. They're trying to tune these targets in such a way as to, make the gridiron and the monolith combination work better than the Zelos
Well,
Empyrean combo.
I mean, if you could do the outside with
Yeah, yeah.
Zealous Citadel, then you clearly could do it with Zealous Empyrean. The question is, can you run those rockets with the Zealous Empyrean?
And maybe the reason they put the thermal on the Zelos is all the people that are going to be sniping them for rimming the outside.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So. All right. Should we keep going?
Yeah.
Daniel?
We got a bunch of slides. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Daniel, you got anything else on the FM transition?
No. I do think they should keep the older targets more until, well, indefinitely.
Well, I think they should give people at least 2 weeks to a month to carry over.
Yep.
I mean, especially 2 weeks seems more reasonable with the number of tokens we've gotten to refit some of this stuff.
Yeah, but what about the people that are just starting in the game, and they're having to find these super powered targets that they require a ship that takes them like 15 days to build?
Well, we
Well,
haven't seen the people that are just the people. We haven't seen the targets for the people that are just starting the game.
yeah, I mean,
We've
we'll have to
only
see what
seen
those
the
low
top
end.
end target change.
Yeah.
So, we don't know that point.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, sorry, not even on camera. Kick's bringing me macaroni and cheese.
Kick size. I thought it was.
All right. Anyway, let's keep going. PvP state of the game. So you've got. I think we talked about this last week.
Mhm.
2 lines of the rival hulls. You got the ores. Well, 2 lines of PvP hulls, right? You got the ores or the rivals,
Yep.
and then you got the 7 deadly sins. So they're announcing names, right? Incinerator and Inquisitor to go with the rivals. And they Voltron into powerful combinations of different hulls.
Do you understand what they're trying to get there? Out there, I was a little.
They
lost.
actually combine?
Oh, wait. So you don't know the TV show Voltron, the cartoon?
I don't
Oh
think
my
I
god!
watched it.
Oh, it was so cool. It was like so they had these 5 guys and they had different color suits like Power Rangers, okay? Except they
Okay.
had these mechanical lions that they would like ride and fight in. But then the lions could combine into like a giant robot with a big ass sword.
Here was this.
I think it was the early 80s.
Sounds
Okay.
right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not early '80s. I might have been. Well, we're the same age though. Okay. Yeah, I don't.
I swear, I think Netflix is like going to reboot Voltron or something. I thought I heard something about that.
Okay.
Well,
But
they
yeah.
actually combine, these ships actually combine to make a robot.
Oh, that'd be cool. Like a mega hull. Make a mega hull out of these ships.
Yeah, that would be cool
Okay.
as hell.
Yeah, it launched in '84. So, yeah, I might not have. I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to look on Netflix or something.
Too old for kid stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah. I was already watching porn at that point, so Voltron didn't do much for me.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So, yeah. And then 7 deadly sins. So we've got the pride, gluttony, and sloth. And then lust, rage, and avarice. And then their short one. How could they have only 6 of the 7 deadly sins?
Let's see. Rage. Which one are they missing?
I don't know. I looked them up last
Okay,
a while
pride.
ago, and nobody was clear. You can do the interneting.
Rage, avarice. Oh man, we're gonna have to. Envy. There we go.
Envy.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's the low end players who are always complaining about the coiners, so they don't need a ship for that.
Because avarice is greed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they decided to introduce a new word that people can bitch about them on the forums.
Yeah. I don't know. Greed might be a little. Well, anyway. Okay.
So do we want to talk about the incinerator? Isn't that like the that's the incinerator? I was thinking as far as the garbage disposal thing. But the incinerator is just burn stuff up. The Inquisitor asks you questions.
Yes.
You have any? You want to throw any guesses on what the love me ability is going to be?
I assume it's going to be some kind of tank that draws fire, or maybe forces other ships to move, like a little tractor beam kind of deal.
Okay.
Maybe it can. I don't know. Maybe it can like pull out guard ships.
Okay. Or, yeah. I mean, there's a couple of There's a couple things out there, but yeah, or you know, it when it takes certain kinds of damage, it actually adds to its health, or I don't know. Yeah, there's different
Yeah.
possible ways. The superpowered rage, and
I mean, I assume those are just overloads.
yeah, and the avarice. And we're gonna get some tier 6 defenders.
Justice and hope. They sound so
I assume
anti-seven deadly
those are
sins.
Harbin's kids' names. Don't they sound like kids' names? For somebody, never mind.
Justice
Well,
and hope.
Hope, yeah.
In June. Justice in June. Is that your porn gun getting up?
No, in June. I think the month June. Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah. That would be funny if they named a hall Justice in June. That would be a great hall name, and I would start coining for that.
You
Just
would.
a hall that was Justice in June. Yeah.
Name your sex tape.
Yep. It's
Okay.
gonna happen.
All right.
And then we're talking about the stuff that we're currently seeing with the tier 6 turrets and specials.
Right.
So
yeah. Yeah, they got to, I guess, finish off the different damage types on those tier 6 turrets, right? You've got the ballistic one just came out. I forget what it's called.
but we should go to the next one because this is sort of a transition, a quick transition to.
And then bounty hunt. So, okay, bounty hunt season. We had a little sneak preview of this one in the town hall, but really no more information than I think what's been released here. So yeah, opt in. So over the course of multiple days, your goal will be to defend the vault and blow up other players' vaults. Vault protects bounty, which is a currency you can spend in your bounty store. Okay, so I think one of the key things here is you have to opt in to play. So if you're like, I suck at PvP, I don't hate PvP, all you have to do is not opt in, and then people who care about bounty aren't going to hit your base. And then the other thing that I think is an important mechanic is you have to hit up to gain bounty. So you can only get bounty from a player who has more bounty than you. So farming some guy over and over doesn't work. Hitting a bunch of low level or weak players won't get you bounty. You got to hit higher. It almost ends up like a challenge ladder, right? You want to keep working your way up because stomping down is just a waste of time. And then bubbles are disabled for the last few hours before the end of the bounty season. That was a twist that they didn't talk about in the town hall. Which kind of exacerbates the problem I was worried about, which is people snipe, hit people who can be on. Some people can be on, some people can't. And so people are going to hit right at the end to get that bounty that can't be stolen, right? Because the event ends. So yeah, there's that. And then sweet prize, if you opt in and join, then you're guaranteed a sweet PvP prize. The very best PvPers who get to the top can redeem the newest and best PvP equipment before it gets broadly distributed. So sounds like the prizes aren't exclusive, but they will be only through the bounty store for a while. And that's going to kind of, I'll say, continue the laddering, right? Because the people at the top are going to get the good prizes, assuming they will build the prizes and then be able to stay at the top with the best PvP equipment. What do you think?
I have a lot of things to think. Go ahead, Jefe. No.
Nope.
I think they'll have to change a lot of things.
Well, so
because
first of all, you gonna opt in?
I probably will. I probably will, but the thing that I'm pretty scared of is if we're gonna have our base hit, especially if we're gonna lose our if we're gonna disable bubbles as well. Um, you know how it sucks to get hit and in the middle of the night, right before you like right after you fell asleep, and then you lose like
Yep.
6-7 hours
Yep.
of like ship build time or whatever you're building at the time.
Yep.
That's what my biggest concern is. Like you're gonna lose all that time if you're not on 24/7.
Yeah.
Um, so that's mostly why a lot of people opt out of PvP in the first place because they can't like they can't compete with everybody else that has that's coining. And on top of that, if they're getting constantly hit and they're losing build time, they're gonna fall more behind.
Yeah. 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 And in PvP too, fall
Yeah,
behind. I mean PvE.
yeah.
Um. Yeah. Yeah. It's a concern.
It would be fine if there wasn't like a consequence for the defender, like in terms of like only like if it was only that you're only gonna lose your PvP bounty. Okay, I'm fine with that. But if you're gonna lose like build time and repair, you have to spend on repairs and stuff like that. Then
Yeah, and you also lose your bounty.
yeah,
Yeah, and they talked about this a little more. Like you're not going to lose all your bounty if you lose a base hit, and then, um, gosh, what else? It was like some of the prizes will help you hold more bounty when you lose. There's something like that going on. So, oh well, okay. So yeah, expanding the vault prevents more and more of your bounty from being stolen.
okay.
So there. Eh, I wasn't even a big fan of having another building, right? This is a new building, a vault building. So how big is it? Where are you going to put it?
Is it water based?
I don't know.
Okay, so it's your new OP, so to speak.
Yeah, that's what I thought was weird. It's like I already have an OP that I need to protect. Now I have something else I need to protect.
Hmm.
Why not just have the vault be sort of a feature of the OP? But
Unless
that's
it's really small, something like your store or something.
yeah, I would hope it's not bigger than 3x3.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, again, it's still kind of speculative. If anybody has questions, maybe they can hurry up with them in chat. I'm not watching chat, but hopefully somebody is.
A lot of people just say they don't. Well, Hollywood just chimed in with hide your vault in your pants,
Hmm.
but generally people yes, make them want to grab it. Um, generally, a lot of people seem a little bit uncertain about this and don't like the sound of it. So I guess we have to see it. I mean, I think a lot of the community has a trust deficit,
Yeah,
and they're afraid of new mechanics in the game because they normally don't work,
yeah,
and they don't appear to be tested or thought through.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Kicksai's goal is to increase PvP play. They think that gets players excited about the game, more dedicated, more coining. They want. I mean, I say it right, and if you can opt into this, right, then it's not like a must do.
Yeah, if it's an opt-in thing, I think if they do it wrong, they're only going to get the top 3%, and then a couple people sort of testing it out. Eventually, I'm guessing that you're going to get, I would guess about 30% participation on the first one. That could either go up or down depending on what's in the bounty store, and things that because people are worried about Are they going to auto repair docks and things of that nature? How this may interfere with their normal gameplay as far as doing all their chores.
Yep.
There's a lot of questions, even though there's a lot of text here. There's a lot of questions I think the players have.
Sure.
So,
okay.
Any other questions you guys have, or before we move on? Besides hiding your vault in your pants. So
Well, people opt out of alliances because they don't want to get hit too much because of all the
Points.
because
yeah.
all the things that you need, like you lose from getting hit. So
yeah, I think they also need to. Well, at this point, all the top end players really pretty much between base parts and all the structure tokens.
Mhm.
You don't have to worry about the 8-hour repair on your turrets as far as trying to build something.
Yeah.
A lot of them are at that point. But
Mhm.
once they brought up OP9,
10.
at that point in time, people aren't going to want to participate in this because, you have all these long build times and upgrades and things of that nature. And it's not so much it being interrupted. It's a matter of fact of, they're getting interrupted and you're getting 8 hours added onto it
Yeah.
based on the repair times. And I think it's an old mechanic in the game. They need to figure out, either have the builds continued while they're being repaired. That would be one thing that I think would bring a lot of players back to the PvP part of the game because they don't want to
Yeah, the penalties are pretty harsh.
Yeah.
And beyond just PvP penalties.
And then another question is what about once you get to the top, who are you gonna hit? Once you get to the top of your goal, like you're at the top of everybody else, and everyone's just gonna hit you?
Yeah, guess so.
Yeah. And it seems like the mechanic is like a rank. It would work out being like a rank system.
Sort of, yeah.
And so people are going to be basically, once you get towards the top, that PvP currency is basically going to be bought with gold at that point. So that may work out well for Kickside, but at the high end, that PvP currency is, it's going to be paid for it.
I'd be really hesitant to spend gold to get bounty, with this last couple hours, right? When you when you can't get a bubble. I mean, that could just be sucked away, right? Because, you could just get hit, bam, 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 down the ladder. And if you get hit again and again and again, your turrets aren't rebuilt. I don't know. I worry about that. What's going to happen at the end? Actually, I think that could be disastrous.
I think hopefully that paragraph, the bubbles are disabled for the last few hours. I'm hopefully thinking that's meaning they're moving towards that. They're moving towards at least turrets. I don't know how they're going to do it, but turrets instant repairing or something's got to start instant repairing if you're going to remove people's bubbles. Because what are people going to do? You get your buddy to hit, you stay out of it. Okay, let's say you're in alliance. You stay out of it until the end, the last few hours. You get your big base hitter in your alliance to go in there and level somebody with a lot of crap. They don't have any turrets left. They don't have any guard left. And then you let your little alliance members that are way low end go in there and just fleece the guy.
Mm.
And those, all those people in the alliance, they don't have a lot of stuff in their vault, and so they can just keep on taking stuff from that person at that point in time. Things like that are not explained here, and that seems to be based on what's explained. It seems like it would be a big exploit.
Yep. All right, we'll see. Ready for the next one?
Let's do it.
Rogue Crews.
Oh,
So, Rogue Crews broken. They're going to redo Rogue Crews, take them all back to design, and rebuild them for the modern world of Battle Pirates. Matching rebuilt ones with the hulls you're using, resources you're needing, and ways you want to break the game for a few minutes. We will not be removing existing crews. So, this is kind of interesting. I'm hoping that the favorite hull might actually be like a class instead of a hull.
that's my hope. That was originally my hope until I read the last part. The
Oh,
last Road Crew update comes packaged with a once per quarter adjustment plan that will tell you more about it when we roll it out.
Yeah.
That part sort of scares me because sometimes they implement part of the game that needs to be updated regularly and then they forget about it. So yeah, I agree completely with what you're saying. They should
Yeah.
just make it class based or faction based or something of that nature.
Yeah.
So when they fire these people and hire new people, it
They
continues.
won't go the way of repair specialists and retrofit labs and
Yeah,
hell, even foundries almost. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. I'm disagree with you. I just agree with you that they need to make it more generic,
Yeah.
and and that way they don't have to spend the manpower to craft them to individual halls and resources and whatnot.
Yep.
Oh yeah. And Leonard Skinner brought up the objectives. We've been waiting for 31 for a while, haven't we?
Oh right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Objective. Whatever.
Yeah, until we see them, there's not too much we can say about it. And I don't know. There's too much guessing about permanent captains and whatever that means.
Yep.
You know.
No point in speculating. I mean, all right.
All right, we can move on.
World War is coming in Q4, and I assume that's calendar year Q4.
Mm-hmm.
Unleashing a player event yet? Take sides to win control of the continent and earn bonuses for your faction loyalty and rewards for betrayal. Blah blah blah. War rages on. It will eventually be time for Outpost 10. So that's interesting. I guess does that mean Outpost 10 is going to be in that Q4 timeframe? Maybe.
Well, the war, yeah, depends how long the war rages on. Yeah, it seems like quarter four we'll get OP10, and like I brought up earlier, the bounty hunt is still going to be going on, and yeah, the weaponizing the outpost is so they're going to turn it into a new. Oh, maybe we're going to get that spurter that they had in the siege, on our cannoneer.
Oh, that big radioactive. Yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
Spurter. Okay. And then the story is being told in the short stories of Homeland and Game, Plunder, Hunger, and Forever. I did read, I don't even remember one of them recently. It's pinned posts on the forum. So it was all right. Talking about a cybernetic Greta.
Yeah.
So that, maybe that's your thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more curious, Synergy renamed the girl in the picture Rambat. And I am more curious, like, you assumed that she swam across the water to shoot somebody with the sniper missile, but you notice her hair is perfect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't look like, maybe she had like a shower cap on beforehand.
I'm thinking Photoshop, actually.
Okay.
I'm thinking that's a Photoshop head.
Okay. That could work too. But
That's really funny, though.
Yeah. I mean, it could be, could go either way. I mean, or yeah, I'm thinking more maybe the gun and I don't know. Yeah, because she does have different skin tone there, but yeah.
Yep. Yep. I'm thinking Photoshop head.
Okay.
All right. Enough of that. Let's talk TLCs. Long show. I'll try and go quick. Call to arms. So what have we got? We got the first two prize packs being monolith stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Those targets were pretty much raid targets.
Yeah. Yes.
And then prize pack 3, when you start to get a lot more build tokens, you get this transition to these new style, FM style targets. I think we talked earlier about the killer part in number 6. I mean, I went through this with my monolith fleet and was able to run through without coining number 5. My gridiron was kind of chewed up, so I had like 1 hour repair token I used, and then went into number 6, and then just got melted at that corner where I think a lot of people got melted, and I wasn't gonna do that again.
Yeah,
Maybe
I did the first 2, and then I decided to test for the show. I decided to test out the 113, and you know how that goes in your first run through. So, yeah, I haven't done prize pack 3 yet because I'm still got numerous hours left on that.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, it's if you have to, I'm not saying don't fuck up, but it is if you're not losing your whole fleet. It's worth. I mean,
so if you don't have monoliths,
it's sort of worth coining it to refit. I think, even if you have monoliths, don't you think you get 30 days of monolith build tokens?
yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'd be willing to try this again. I was really hoping to get, especially the gridiron tokens.
Mm-hmm.
So I might give this another run, but I don't want to coin too much for stuff I already have.
Well, it makes it easy to slap the D85D on your ships.
Yeah, sure. And so it's not useless. And like I said, I'll try it again, but I'm not going to coin more than a couple gold.
Yeah, I'm not,
Not going to throw fleets at this.
It must be good macaroni and cheese because you've gone down to the bottom and you're just scraping the bowl for this. Did you make it, or did Miss Battle Parts Professor make it?
Actually, young professor made it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So I hear.
Very nice.
So yeah. Yeah. Sensitive mic.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Are we done with call to arms? Daniel, you got anything to add on call to arms?
I did it fairly easy with icebreakers. It was really fun with them.
All the way through?
Yeah, all the way through. I took 8.5 hours of repair at the end, but it went all the way.
Okay. That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've heard some other people doing that.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those ones where you see it in other places where you find a synergy with using the icebreakers and the monolith and for different functions inside of maybe the same target.
So yeah, and that's an excellent point. If you have icebreakers and you don't have monoliths and you feel like maybe you can't do the FM, the 113 with icebreakers, maybe you can use those icebreakers to get this stuff to race through here. That'd be actually pretty excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Alpha Defense. This one is base hitting. I used Muddle Gluttons and raced my way through this. My Harlock Alpha was actually in the middle of building when I did this, so I was able to finish it off. And I have a couple tokens to spare if I want to refit.
Yeah, this one is with the Muddle Gluts. It's damage free and
Yep.
quite easy to do.
Yeah, they ran this before, but I thought last time there were a lot more guard ships in. This time, most of them were kind of unguarded.
Yeah. There's only, I think, well, prize pack. I already had the Harlock before I
Right.
started it, and the only one I think had a guard ship was like the first one in prize pack 3.
Well, the third one in Prize Pack 3 had all those Valiants.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
if you have any subs at all, you can go kill those Valiants. Ghost Crawlers were great. Um, but um,
yeah. That's
and I
right.
think
It was 1 in 3 in prize pack 3. Both had the a guard fleet, but yeah,
okay,
Valiants. Yeah,
yeah, I was going to say there was one other that had kind of a mix of some Vanquishers and a Retribution and a couple other ships.
but still, it could be easily done with the Muddle Missile Gluttonies
Yep.
if you have them. And not too stressful, and just boom, 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 and you might have to withdraw and resurface a couple of times, but it's not. I did it with. I only have 2 of them,
Mm.
and I was able to do it quite quickly.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. Anybody
It
do this with John?
It definitely seems like they want us to have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely worth doing. Even if you can only do prize pack 1 and get the haul, you could put stuff besides polonium throwers and accelerators on this.
Yeah, I am. I've been putting even though I bitch about them, I have the Cesium Scarab UAVs along with a polonium thrower, because the Harlock Alpha Behemoth has the deaccelerator cannon, which slows them down and allows those things to hit.
Yep.
But it doesn't fucking matter at this point with the Muddle Gluts.
Yep.
They're not going to take out your ships, but they're going to use your ships to splash out everything else. So it's they need to figure out something in that mechanic of that missile to
Yeah, I mean this whole.
out of getting.
I mean, if so many bases fall to Muddle Gluttons, bounty is going to be kind of a joke. I mean, it's just going to be whoever hits last.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought of some ways to. I've thought of some ways, but I haven't tried them out. As far as right now, I'm putting like intermediate walls to block splash and things of that nature. So yeah, we'll see how it works out at the end. But yeah, they need to do something, because it's. I mean, it's breaking their own TLCs as well. They need to, it's not even just players, but it's like if you have them and they were free to build,
Yep.
as long as you could. I forget what ship did you need to win them?
So I think
I forget.
they were the ones where it was like siege and then a couple bases.
Okay.
And you really did need a Harlock Cannoneer fleet, especially kind of at the end of those last couple siege ones. They had some hard siege targets at the end.
Okay. Yeah, but because they were, I have not spent any build time on those things. I've just used tokens and on the Muddle Gluts.
Yep, same here.
Yep.
And
so if you got extra tokens and want to do this and get yourself your own shiny Harlock's Alpha Behemoth, I don't know if you're at this point you're going to be able to. 12 days is going to get you completely built, but
it'll get you. The bear haul is really long. I think it's like a 10-day, 11-day haul.
Yeah, it's what I'm saying is you're not going to be able to get this all built with that 12 days. It's in the 20, and I don't even have all the specials on mine, but I put it in my base. I mean, because some of the specials seem a little bit optional. I think I only have like 3 or 4 specials on it.
Oh, I loaded it up because I mixed weapons. So I have a couple throwers and a couple UAVs and a couple countermeasures. So I kind of have specials for each of those.
But you can see, even I've been like I said, I'm mixing the throwers and the UAVs at this point, and I do have But even at that point, how many specials are you using? Like 4?
I don't know. I think I've got agility 4 for the stun defense.
Okay.
I don't know. I could maybe go through my build on the after show if people are really interested. I don't know how good it is, honestly. I just finished it, but
okay.
I can certainly go through it.
Okay. Alrighty.
And then end game, you can get oppressors and build tokens. Do the first 2 prize packs because absolutely those explosive. Well, I mean, this is one of those tier 6 turrets they're talking about.
Yeah, and if you're lower mid-level, get the fuel tank, because once you have the fuel tank, I mean, with the splash advantage that it gives you, assuming you have like cap mortars or anything like that, because you can stack a lot of these splash heavy specials on your turrets, and that's a really good one to have.
Fuel tank is awesome.
Yeah, you can get some crazy splash out of your cap mortars and whatnot if you have cap mortars, but and you're getting you get 2 days of build, and the price pack 2, you get the explosive turret, and you're also getting 8 days of build time, which is more, if you don't have the fleets best for the base parts, it makes it helpful.
Yep.
And the explosive turret, it's a base turret, and it does a crap load of damage, and it does hit submerged targets, and
okay.
It's good to go. And the oppressor is interesting. It's meant as a remote targeting haul, but some of these TLCs where you have like the one last week I missed because I was moving and it was only like 5 days instead of 6 or 7. I watched some people hit it, and I watched the target, but I only had a couple minutes at a time because I was moving. Mm-hmm. But it's got huge ballistic deflection, and so you could potentially, even though it's supposed to be for remote targeting, you could potentially also use it as a tank in the right situation. Yeah. So, and you can build, And
if you want to have your Voltron fleet, you got to have at least one.
Yeah, yes. Lions do what? I don't know. I missed. I'm gonna have to get back to everybody. Maybe on the Friday show, maybe the first half hour we'll watch a Voltron show, and then we'll break it down and discuss it afterwards.
I'll tell you what, man. That Voltron, when Voltron drew his sword, it was great. All right.
Okay, whatever. That sounded dirty. Alrighty.
Well, you were busy watching porn, so.
Yeah.
All right.
But alrighty, and I'll take you off of present.
Thank you.
See if anybody else. It's the first time I think we've seen you with glasses. Is this product placement, or is this part of the normal Battle Parts Professor life?
No, this is my contacts were bugging me a couple days ago, so I took them out. So.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was you were increasing our ad revenue with product placement.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I'm posting on the in YouTube chat if anybody would like to join us. I've posted the link, and see if there's anything anybody would like to talk about. Is there anything else, Larry or Daniel, that you think we've that we need to talk about that we might have missed in the last 80 minutes?
80 minutes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Okay. We need to talk about that we might have missed in the last. Mike, turn off your.
80 minutes.
Mike, turn off your. I'll do it.
Okay. No. Okay.
Okay.
If you're gonna join in, man, Mike's discipline, mac and cheese.
There we go. Hey, Brian, how are you doing?
Hey, Brian.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Empty
Looking through the
bowl
new
of
FM.
mac and cheese.
Yeah, we could definitely tell it was empty. We were waiting for the sound of you licking the bottom of it. Ah.
We just sell that as like a commercial to Kraft. Just have
yeah,
this thing above the wall.
you know, we don't monetize the show, but Larry's got this whole thing where he's doing product placement for different beer types and food types, and we've mentioned some. Culinary items. We're working that angle as opposed to making people actually watch the little ad breaks at the beginning or middle of the show. We've just come with the product placement. Like it was big in the 90s in movies like Coca-Cola and whatnot. We're doing that.
Sure.
So we're not really breaking new ground, but I think we're breaking new ground for YouTube Battle Pirate shows. So
Product placement.
yeah, product
Pristine
placement.
of ground.
Yes.
There's
Nobody
like
else
3
has-
of us.
Yeah, nobody else has done product placement.
Well, there's brethren. So there's like pi of us.
Mhm.
Oh, are they still around? Which never
Are
mind.
they?
We're still live, so yeah. But Brian, do we have anything that you want to do on the live show?
I am testing the FMs with science.
How's that going?
I used pretty well. I used gridiron and monos for a really long target and like an hour's damage. And then I used it
Okay.
with Zelos for like half that damage, and the Zelos time is getting faster. So I'd recommend the Zelos over the gridiron monolith to lead your fleet of monos. It makes me sad, but I can't argue with the results.
Okay.
I want to
Yeah,
see like a good icebreaker fleet, like 4 IBs and the Visagos with the V rockets for Godspeed. Just run through them and see what that does.
Well, you have that, Daniel, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I don't have full Vs. I have 4 Vs each, but
Okay. Well, that's pretty close. I mean, if you would like, we could. I could have you present to everyone, and you could sort of break your cherry on the 113 with your full icebreaker fleet.
First
Or is
time
that
in
if
front of
that's too much
everyone,
pressure. It's too
Not
much
yet.
pressure. We got 38 watching. Since Brian showed up, we lost 10 people. But I'll blame that
Sounds
on
about
Mike
right.
instead.
because this is
We see numbers, they go away.
It's all good.
I can't do it right now because I'm in the middle of repairs.
Okay. No, I was just throwing that out there. See if see how that went. Well, I guess unless anybody has anything else, we can stop the live broadcast, and anybody else that's a little bit shy can jump in afterwards. Unless anybody else has any parting words.
Good night, everybody.
Not
Okay.
everybody.
Mhm.
Later, people. Night.